All right, hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Talk Power BI on Fridays. We are starting with a slight delay. Sorry, I had some technical issues. Somehow the mic wasn't being picked up, but hopefully everything is working. If you can see me, if you can hear me, let me know in the chat box. I would like to hear from you anyway about where are you dialing in from? Where are you watching this from? And I see some familiar faces already. Sussy says hello. Love Power BI training videos. Talk about the limitations. Yeah, we'll definitely get into Q&A. Pawan Kumar says hi. Jory says hi. Who else is there? Laurie Hills is here. Sam is here. Always good to see you, my friend. Happy New Year to you as well. Jory says hi from Netherlands. Shishir is from India. Steve is here, of course, our moderator. And yeah, due to the tech issues, I wasn't able to start the line for our students, and we'll see. I'm not sure how good it would work today because I couldn't fix the audio completely. So anybody dialing into the phone, people wouldn't be able to hear you on YouTube. So that may be a bit awkward, but we'll see. So well, yeah, this is our first episode for New Year, and the email I sent out today. I'm trying to multitask here. I really shouldn't. So hold on, guys. Let me start the GoToMeeting for our students and see if anybody is dialed in over there. Students in the Learn Power BI program get a chance to dial into these calls, Talk Power BI, and yeah, I mean, if you've seen those, I love kind of chatting with people. If you're part of the Talk Power BI Insiders Club, if not, why not? Just go to talkpowerbi.com and sign up for that. And that also gives you an opportunity to dial into the call later on. So wow, we have 5 folks on the call. And again, I apologize to all the students. Okay, sorry. So go on mute if you're dialing in. We have how many? 7. Oh wow. Okay, so let's see who is here. We have a mysterious caller. Sometimes I don't see a name. Heather is here. Laurie Hills, good to see you. Ross Baldwin, Steve, our moderator, of course. Tom is here, and Yeti. Yeti, good to see you. Would love to hear from you how things are going for you before we dive into some of the stuff. So if you want to unmute and just chat. I don't know, I feel like talking to you. All right, cool. Yeti, if you're hearing me, go ahead and unmute. I know sometimes it's hard to find that unmute button. There you are. Happy New Year. How are you doing? How are things for you? Wow. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Sorry, keep going. Yeah. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. So folks on YouTube, given what I'm seeing on my screen is that you can't hear Yeti. So Yeti was just speaking on the microphone, so I could hear her. Of course, other students on the GoToMeeting were able to hear her, but I don't think on YouTube. So if you heard like a long span of quiet just a few minutes ago, let me know. Or if you were able to hear her, let me know as well. Just to recap really quick, she found an opportunity, a 2-week consulting opportunity, and she gave me some credit for that. That's great. I really appreciate that. I mean, of course, I'm an enabler, and any way I can help my students, my community, my followers, I'm happy for that. That's my goal. But after that, it's all you. So, and Yeti shared that, yeah, she did great work there. It was a great learning experience. And I always say the best learning comes from doing. The concepts in the course is great, but after that, you gotta, kind of don that armor, step into that arena, and just farm. And that's what Yeti did. So Yeti, kudos to you. That's great. All right, folks. So today, so sometimes we have a themed topic. We don't have a themed topic today. I did have maybe a couple of announcements, 2 announcements really quick. But then after that, and this is new, and I'm so excited about this. So my team, Marianne specifically, is on Team Avi, has put together a list of questions that are kind of open. And frankly, I had always intended to do this, and there's a facility to pre-submit your questions if you're in the Talk Power BI Club as well, and so forth. And of course, students have their own community and so forth. So, but yeah, I need help sometimes. So she has put together a list of questions, and we're going to see if you're online, and we can get your questions. Sometimes it goes so much better if I can catch you online. So we'll try that. And of course, if you have any questions as such, just go ahead. Oh, so Steve is saying no video on GoToMeeting. Yeah, so I was a little bit rushed. So let's turn on the video over there. Okay, and all right, terrific. So 2 announcements. One, I'm excited about that. That one is that we're doing oh gosh, why am I at a loss for words? I'm a little bit jet lagged. So by the way, I just came back from a month-long vacation to India, and yeah, I feel really blessed to be able to spend time with my family there. Me, my dad, and my son, we took a 3-generation trip to the very beautiful state of Rajasthan, India. And we visited 2 cities. One is called the City of Palaces. That's Udaipur, and it was fantastic. And the other is called the Pink City, and that's their capital of Rajasthan. That's Jaipur, and that was really amazing as well. There's another spot which we might go back to, which is Jodhpur and Jaisalmer, which is where you can actually go to the desert. Rajasthan is known as a arid desert kind of state, but you got to travel a little bit out to Jodhpur, Jaisalmer, and you can camp out in the desert and go on a camel ride and all that stuff. So we didn't do that, but it was still a pretty amazing trip. And of course, we spent time with our family and extended family, so that was really good. So I'm back from that, and I had this idea when I was there to do, Power BI team does so much. Now, they release a lot of new features. Now, that said, you shouldn't let yourself be carried away by that. You wouldn't really learn Power BI by learning all those new features. You would learn Power BI by learning those core concepts, the 20% that gives you the 80% of the results. But still, the Power BI features are new and exciting. So we asked for votes for this. So let's see, where is the voting one? I think this is the one. Yeah, 26 comments. So if you go on my channel, youtube.com/PowerBIPro, then you can, oops, not here. I'll close that one. Then you can vote for the top 10. And that video is coming out Wednesday. And I still have to create it. So yeah, go ahead and vote. And I don't know, it's going to be exciting. I don't know what's going to find. So that's number 1. You can go to the community link. And maybe I'll try to put that YouTube Power BI Pro community. Ooh, cool. So check that out. And let's see, we got a few more hellos over here. Loveleen Kaur has a question. Yeah, hold on just a minute, Loveleen. We got Q&A pretty quick. Monty says, okay, well, thank you for the compliment, Monty. And Moses says hello from Seattle. That's awesome. All right, cool. So let's talk about the second announcement. And those of you who have been joining me on my Talk Power BI have heard me talk about six-figure Power BI professional. So guys, I have to say, this is something that still scares me, but I'll say I'm proud of myself, because it's about doing the scary things. And really the reason that I'm doing it is for my kids, because I want to lead by example. I want to not talk to them about lofty things. So when my son was young, he's 14 years old, by the way, now. He's going to turn 15 this year in March. But when he was young, I would make up stories for him. I would, yeah, really, and it was a lot of fun. I don't know, you just make up these stories about this bear or something like that, always involved animal creatures. But the theme in the stories was always the same. I don't know why. I guess I like that theme. Or it was something that I was struggling with without realizing it. And the struggle was fear, right? I don't know, just fear of everything, right? Fear of change, fear of I'm not good enough, fear of the sky's going to fall on my head. So, yeah, so all my life I've struggled with fear of not fitting in, fear of not being accepted, fear of being rejected, all this sort of stuff. It's been a thing for me. Not the theme of my life, but it's been a thing. But every story that I spun up for him, the theme was the same. The theme was that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is simply doing what you need to do in spite of the fear. That's it. Simple. So here I am showing up for this. But I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about this. And again, if I put myself away, if I put my fears away, and if I think about the person that I can help, then fear does go away. So it makes it easy. So it's going to be a beta program. I've never done this before. I've thought about it for a long time, but finally I'm stepping up to the plate. So, but of course, beta is awesome because it's got a lot of benefits. One, it's going to be a small group. It's not going to be a large group. I mean, beta, we're just trying it out, so we're going to keep it pretty small. And you get to kind of design or define or guide the program. I'll really feed off of you. By the way, now our Learn Power BI program online course is getting close to 500 students. The last I checked it crossed 450. That started with a beta exactly like this. And in a way, man, that was the best class ever. I still think back and I still talk to some of those folks and they talk about how amazing it was. So it was pretty cool. And again, I'm not taking the credit. It was the whole group. So it's going to be a beta program. It's going to be by application. So we just want to make sure that it's the right fit. And again, it's not like I'm going to test you. It's not like an interview or anything like that. We just want to make sure that it's the right fit. By the way, an interview is also just about the right fit. It's not about somebody else testing or judging you. Don't walk into an interview thinking that, all right? So you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. Sorry, sidetrack. So just kind of application just to make sure that you're the right fit for the program, you're the kind of person you're looking for. And yeah, January 2019, so I'm committed to that. So I think we'll run the application process through January. We'll start the program in February. It's 3 months, February, March, April. And the price for the beta program, at least the beta launch, is $19.95. I don't really know what the price we're going to set for them when the program goes live, but that's it for now. Now, who's it for? Well, this is actually, so I'll describe you the profile of the person. So the profile of the person is somebody who is actually good at tech. All right, they are good at tech, and they're like, and they do a lot of work, but maybe they haven't really grown in their career. And by the way, what I'm describing is me, so this course is me from the past. So my friends, I was really good at tech, and I mean, Excel was my main tool, but really you throw anything at me. I was a business analyst, and whatever tool I needed to learn, I picked it up. That was never the challenge, but my career didn't grow. It just, I don't know, man. I did so well in school, and it frustrated me for such a long time that I'm like, I was so good in school, in college, all of that, and I didn't see the same success in my professional life, and that frustrated me to a great extent. And then things happened. I discovered Power BI, and my career took off. Now, the key there, though, is my success had little to do with Power BI. All right? It had little to do with Power BI. It was something else. So the profile that I described, that you're good at tool, you stay really busy, but you're not really appreciated. You're overworked, you're underappreciated. That's never a good recipe, right? That's never a good track for a career. That's the person I want to help with, because I realized that Power BI is just a tool. you can end up the same place where you are. You think Power BI is the liberator, it's going to liberate you, solve all your problems. So like, oh, I just learned Power BI and then bingo, job offers, money, and I don't know, love, love and relationships. I don't know. It's not, none of that is guaranteed, right? So you can be stuck in the same thing. You would notice a slight change. It'll be like a quick boost, but then 3 months, 6 months down the line, you would notice that, oh man, nothing really changed, right? So what I realized is that there's an X factor. Oops, I didn't mean to edit it. There's something else that's needed in for the success, and that is what I want to, frankly, in a way, discover through this beta program. I don't think I have nailed down everything. So one of my favorite students, our original beta program members, Keith Nail, his famous quote, well, he was quoting somebody else, but to teach is to learn twice. And yeah, so I want to teach this program so I can also kind of, just codify it. Like, what is that X factor that leads to your success? So this is the content that I drummed up. If you have any feedback, let me know. Now, of course, the beta members are going to guide this program. So, but just to kind of give you what's on my mind is mindset. I really believe that it all starts there. If you don't have the right mindset, you cannot succeed. Simple as that. And if you have the right mindset, you can make a lot of mistakes and still do great, because it's I don't know, it's just kind of weird, but it works that way. So we'll talk about that. I'll share why it's important, how to get the right mindset, goal setting, this, that. Social presence, I definitely believe in that. It doesn't matter if you want to be a consultant, want to stay in your full-time job, want to do both, doesn't matter. Everybody in this day and age, the number one thing they can do to help themselves is build the social presence. So I'll just talk about why it's important, find your dance floor, how to get started, how to grow, blah, blah, blah. Define your business. You don't want to be a generalist. Finding a niche is good. How to find your niche, how to own your niche, understand your target audience so that you're not talking to everybody, right? You're talking to a specific person. Notice I did that myself. Frankly, I didn't realize I was going to do that, but I did that myself. I talked about this program and I said, it's not for everybody. This is for that professional who's, tech is not a problem. I mean, either you're already in my course, so you've learned Power BI, or you can learn it, and you realize that the way to success is not, oh, I'm going to learn more about Power BI, right? I mean, the better I get at Power BI technically, the more successful I'm going to be. Man, I wish life was as simple as that. And that's where I'm not a huge fan of our school system, because it teaches you that. Like, oh, you just, the more equations you can solve, the more success you're going to, the more success you get at school, but real life doesn't work that way. It's a lot of other things, the X factor, and that's what I want to back it in. So anyway, where was I? So I want you to understand your target audience. I want you to understand who you would be talking to. I don't want to tell you, but I want to help you kind of discover that. And then this is covered short, but it is important: how to get leads, how to convert leads to customers, how to serve your customers, and so forth. Now, there's a lot of with maybe boring stuff. I don't find it boring. I think it's really fun. I like tinkering with all this stuff, but it's needed, and sometimes it can be overwhelming when you're getting started. So contracts, how to set up a legal entity, time tracking, invoicing, project management, website, and email. So we'll, just quick stuff, and I'll pass on what I know. Now, this might be the most fun bucket of all. How much should you charge? Ooh, right? How much? How do you set that? How do you change prices? All of that stuff. How do you sell Power BI if that's what you need to do sometimes? How to get your first contract? How to grow your team when you get to that spot? Like, oh, cool. Well, I'm tapped out 100%. How can I kind of build a team around me, right? So that could be amazing. And of course, this is kind of outsourcing in a different way. So you're not bringing in Power BI folks, but how can you bring in somebody who possibly helps you with all of this stuff and the other stuff that you don't want to do because you just want to do Power BI? And of course, if you've seen me and interacted with me, reached out to me, we have a team as well. We call it Team Avi. And there's some amazing members in there. You probably worked with a few of them, Marianne, Anna, and others. So yeah, they are around me and they support me in my role. They help me focus on what I love most, which is talking to you guys, talking about Power BI, focusing on that. And this one I just thought of recently, for like 5 minutes ago, which is, well, should you quit your job to do this and so forth? And I think there are other ways to make dollars, and I want to cover that as well. It's like, hey, this is not the only what are the other ways you can do it? So the content is obviously going to be there, but of course the program is going to be different. It's a beta, so you're going to guide it, and it's not just about the content. That's probably the smallest part of it, believe it or not. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to be there. I'm invested in your success, and And I really believe that this group is going to be kind of those folks in a raft, and we're going to be pulling together. And I'm not sure if, frankly, this is going to happen in the beta, but this I do see this in the vision, where it's not just me, hey, because I'm not the expert in everything, but maybe other experts as well. And I know I feel lucky to have come across some amazing people who can advise you about all of this. Now, of course, you notice that Power BI is not part of this. That is assumed, so either you already have that expertise, or you are already a member of my program, and that's where you're getting the Power BI technical stuff. So this is going to go beyond that. All right, let's see. So how's the time? 9:28. Sorry, we started a little late. So I do want to get to your Q&A. So let's go there. How about that? Ooh, let's see. So Q&A. Let's see if there's anything. I'm not really sure. So first of all, hey Steve, did you? I don't know if you joined on. Oh, you are joining YouTube as well. On YouTube, were you able to hear Yeti when she was speaking? Do you know? Could you tell? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe mute yourself here, unmute yourself on YouTube, because that one is a little delayed, and see if you can hear yourself. Okay. Gosh, I think that mic isn't working, but all right, we'll see. So folks, on the GoToMeeting, we might. I'm sorry, I might have to do that, but I might have to restrict you to chat, because otherwise it becomes really weird. So there's a GoToMeeting chat, and I'll say hello over there, so you can kind of see over there. Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, Monty, I'm excited for your interest. So Monty's saying he wants to join ASAP. Course is really interesting. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I still get a little embarrassed when people say something positive. Earlier, I used to be a total douchebag. I would deflect it. Till one of my friends, other MVP friends, says, "Avi, just say thank you, man. It's not that hard." So thank you. Okay, so let's see Pedro's question. He's saying, I'm just gonna copy it. There we go. And so folks, if you submitted a question earlier, it's kind of hard for me to go back. Did that work? Maybe not. So when I ask for a question, just type in. And we're having some trouble with our phone lines today with our students, but normally we go to them first. But let me see what Pedro is asking about. I've tried the create content pack option and didn't accept the email I've written, and it's from the same company. That is really interesting. I'm not really sure that I can give you the answer here, but I'll give you some thoughts. So Pedro is asking about, he's trying to publish a content pack, something like that. Believe me, I mean, I get confused about that stuff too. I mean, I've created videos in this, but then I create videos and then I forget about them. So let's go to the video that I have. I think it's something about large audiences. That's what I said. So let's see. And of course, we might open up Power BI as well. So distributing to a large audience. There we go. So anyway, so if you're interested in content pack, and it's changed a little, hasn't it? Apps workspaces. Oh yeah, perfect. So when you publish it, content, and then access, yeah. So I believe you're talking about this, and I don't think content pack is a thing anymore, is it? I think it's like apps and app workspaces. but you're specifying someone's email address and it's not working. And so first of all, I can answer this, that this is not required. They don't have to have logged in to Power BI, right? I mean, unless somebody says that is true. Okay, Steve has a question. Got it. So let me just write my notes. So Avi, best I know, it is not required for them to have logged into Power BI. And let's just test it, shall we? Okay, here we go. Oops. Wow, I look great now. Better. So if we go to workspaces and we go to demo and we go to publish app, access, now we have, yeah, so it's, yeah, I know this is a new member in our team and they haven't logged into Power BI at all. So that shouldn't be a problem. So seeing the following groups have failed validation. That one is a little weird because it's almost saying that the email you're using is not a single person. Maybe it's a security group or something like that. Let's see. Okay, so Petro, if you can give me more information, just type that back in. But what I can tell you is this. That the Power BI support is mind-blowingly phenomenal. Believe me, I mean, these guys are so good, they're going to annoy you. You know, so I reported an issue to them, and they kept following up every day till it was fixed. And I'm like, guys, you don't need to do that. Just you know, if it's fixed in 2 weeks, let me know. But they're like, hey, we're working on this, and, you know, we don't have any updates for you yet. But you know, so it was really, I was really impressed. It's just amazing. And of course, it sounds like you're doing content packs, so you would have a pro license. So that one is I'll put the URL over there. Create support ticket, and yeah, these guys are amazing. So we'll say for Pedro, the email is a friend in the same company. So yeah, so again, I mean, I can confirm that they don't need to have logged in. That is not a requirement. So it's hard for me to say why that's not working. What I'll say is this. You can definitely contact this. These guys are awesome, right? Let's see if this works. And what I'll say is, question from Avi is that, does it work for someone else, right? So if you use another email, does that work? If it does, then there's something wrong with their account. Possibly, right? That would be the theory, right? So we're going with the hypothesis. We're saying there's something wrong with their account. So we'll just say if it works with somebody else, then yes, the hypothesis is kind of proved. So then possibly something wrong with their account. I can't imagine what though. That's where the support team can help. If no, then I'm not really sure. Again, I mean, all roads lead to Rome. You would still probably contact that, but you can at least give them that information that, hey, we tried it with another account and it works, but it doesn't work for this account or something like that. So then, I don't know, Power BI configuration. Of course, another thing to test is, does it work for other app workspaces, right? So you go into, I went to this workspace and I tried something and it didn't work. Maybe you could try it with another workspace. And so, you know, so again, it's just, and by testing this, you can provide more information to the Power BI support team. So, yep, I tried it. It works with other user. Doesn't work with this user. I tried it with another workspace, and I can share that workspace with this user, but not this workspace. So again, that would give them a little more information. All right, hopefully that helps. So let's switch back and forth. So usually you talk Power BI. Do we have an order here? Yep. So we go to our students, and then we go to the YouTube chat. Right now the phone lines, I would avoid them because they wouldn't be able to hear you. But Steve had a question about importing XML files into Power Query. So Steve, we're gonna go with the assumption that this audio isn't working because that's what it looks like. Steve, say the name of an animal. Come on, just humor me. Okay, so on YouTube, if you heard the name of the animal that Steve just said, just type it in. you know. All right. So I might have to paraphrase everything you say. So let's do this though. Yeah, wait. So you said in that folder there's one XML file, and what is the other one? Got it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, got it. Hmm. Hmm. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. All right. So got it. Okay, so I'll keep recapping. So to make it less awkward, see if I heard you correctly. So if I say back to you, so you got this file from the same source. It's the same data. One is in Excel format. One is in XML format. And let's see if I can open this in Chrome. Maybe can I? Yeah, I like that one too. Okay, let's do that too. Okay, cool. So XML, it opened here, and let's look at it in Excel. Where did that go? Whew. Wow. So this is coming from a reporting system. It seems like that your company uses. Um, yeah. Uh huh. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, all right. So what Steve said is that there's an Excel file, and here the challenge is that, as you can see over here, it's the information is kind of nested. So you go to level 2. Wait, why isn't it working? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, got it. So here the information is kind of nested. So that's a bit of a challenge, kind of bringing it into Power BI. And on XML, it's he found table after table after table, and it was hard, if not impossible, to get to the data. So let's see. Yeah, let's start our Power BI file, and let's see what we can do. Now I have handled kind of hierarchy like this. Essentially, that's what it is. Now the tricky part is that there are some things in Excel which Power BI cannot read, like this 1, 2, 3, 4. What is this called? Anybody? Do you know, Steve? What is this called in Excel? Yeah, I mean, if I can find it. Yeah, let's. Yep, grouping. Yeah, that's right. Where do I find it in the tabs, Apta? Thank you. All right. Thanks. Thank you, Heather. Great. So we are data, outline, group, ungroup. Perfect. So as far as I know, this is, Power BI can't quite read this. It's yeah. I mean, So sometimes there is some other indication of level, which actually I'm not. I mean, there might be color as an indicator here, but that one is. I don't think Power BI can read color either. It's colorblind. So yeah, yeah. Got it. Yeah, but the challenge is how do we understand this grouping that these items are sub items of that? So Ritama on track. I know, but let's say if we trace that and we say, okay, attended is Ritama on track, and so in the file, I think let me just pull it up in Power BI, and let's see what we see. By the way, so kind of a side note, but I have dealt with problems like this before, where it was really challenging to kind of figure stuff out. Now, in that instance, we were lucky enough that we actually controlled the the other side of things, that whatever entity was generating those. So we work with them to make sure that the output was Power BI friendly. It was easier to read. Now, of course, if you have that luxury, then it makes things easier. But Steve, somehow, I don't know, your tone in your voice, it seems like, would you have that option? Would you say, hey, can you do this report slightly differently? Was that a possibility? Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. All right. So yeah, but again, sometimes there is zero possibility, or it's really hard, or it's going to take some time, and of course that's where Power BI comes in, where you don't have to wait. I mean, as a business user, that's what I loved about it. I don't have to go to somebody with a begging bowl and say, oh, can you do this for me? And they say, no, wait 3 months or 6 months. All right. Mm-hmm. Mm. That's crazy. That PDF should be easier to handle than. Yeah. All right, folks. So, wait. What's happening? Nope. Oh yeah, this is it. So let's look at it. Oh, it's in use. I'm gonna probably open. Okay, let's go back to Power BI. So we're trying to open that file over here. And let's try that again. Got it. Hey, you got some good questions, folks. So again, we're gonna alternate. We're gonna take one from the students who are on the phone, which you can hear. Sorry, I apologize for that. And we'll take one from YouTube. So let's see. I don't think this one is useful, is it? Nope. So we'll go here and hit OK. And boy, I'm really curious as to what the first thing is going to be. So of course, we're going to look at query settings. And the change type, I was going to say I have a love-hate thing for it. I don't think I care much for change type, so I'm just going to delete that. It doesn't work in a lot of situations. So yeah, so let's juxtapose this. That's how that word of the day. No. Okay, I'm just messing with you guys. Let's put these side by side and see. Oh, I didn't do a timer thing. So let's do it. Q&A. And this is Steve asking about importing Excel or XML. And we have this one. And then we have, where is this? Where did I do the screenshot? Don't tell me I lost it. How does the file actually look like? I'll just do a copy. Hold on, folks. Bear with us. Don't want that. All right. So this has this grouping. That's what I was expecting, that the grouping is non-existent. So in Excel, I can understand that this is the level 1 and this is the level 2, right? I mean, and this is the level 3. So I see all that by this functionality, but that doesn't carry over here, and it's just like a flat table. So if somebody didn't have this information, all they had was this, how do you read it? It's kind of tricky. Yeah, that is really tricky. Now, Steve, so this looks a little bit simplified because most of these, but not all. Oh, I was going to say have the same just one element, but that's not true. Like at the lower level, at 4 level, they have usually one. Like Steve is Windows 42, Jill is Windows 45. So that we can read, but notice here our level 3 has different elements, like Grandstand East has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sports Bar has 1 actually. Yeah, so, and how do we read that in here? I'm feeling like it's impossible. Like, yeah, unattended attended is easy. That may be static. I'm worried about these guys. 15 mobile bet, sports bar. Oh, that's a good question. Let me ask Steve. So on YouTube, Heather was saying, can we use the uppercase and lowercase, which we can. So Steve, tell me which data is useful. So I know you mentioned that, and I'm glad Heather reminded me of that. So which data are you really looking for? Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah, cool. So let's take it from there. So Steve simplified our challenge for now. and he said he's mostly only interested in the top level data. Now, of course, so if that is the case, and I'm glad Heather kind of guided us back on track, then Heather, as Heather said, we can just go by, though that's the, so notice that it's not that the text is unique, we do have unattended here as well, but this one is all caps, and we can detect that. It's case sensitive by default, so you don't have to do anything. We can just say, so let's go back here, and so we're gonna keep the headers. Let me see which one has headers. Oh, so I love this one where headers are they on 2 rows? I think mostly they're on 7. Okay, cool. So we're gonna keep remove the top rows. So let's just do like a quick cleanup, see how far we can get. Remove top rows, and I'm gonna say 6 when that comes up. 6. So we got the headers, and then I'm not really sure what is all this. There's clearly a lot of hidden data in there, I think. That's where, yeah, but let's see how far we get if I just say attended, not attended. So if I say give me that and unattended, and again, I mean it's case sensitive, so wow, so only 2. So oops, no, I messed up. After I removed top rows, I should have done use first row as headers. Actually, that didn't work well. So where so no, I got it wrong. I'm a little confused now. Which cell has the header? In this case, it is 7 bet caches, iris caches. Who has that? Bet caches. Okay, so it's row 6. My bad. So I'm gonna remove top 5 rows and then bump that as headers. Where do I put myself? There we go. Did that work? I think generally. And then attended, not attended. Let's try that again. Promoted headers, attended, unattended. All right, so now we have the data caches, IRS caches, and of course, yeah, wide columns. I'll be tempted to unpivot everything else. Let's just see how that looks. Ooh, oh, I like that. Notice how clean it got, eh? Whew, this is nice. All right, cool. So let's walk on the other path, and let's see how we can how do we fare when connecting to an XML file. XML. Oh, there we are. What is this? Dablix 2319. Let me see. How does it look in here? Oh, so there are multiple tables. Let's look for something unique. So let's go back to our Excel file and find 11486 in the Excel. 486, can we find it? We found it. 11 in a few places. Not that many. So we found it on line 53. Line 53, which is part of table 2. Let's try to find the unattended one. That's 55781. 55781. So this is on line 413, which is, come on, wow, Also part of table 2. Okay. So let's come back over here. So I think this is the one we want. Okay, so it's a community report collection. Community report collection, that sounds right. So we go there, community report name, community report name 1. So essentially we're navigating this. We're just hopping from this to this to this to this to this. There might be a better way to do it. I had done some, frankly, this was back in college, where there was a query language for XML. I don't even remember what it's called, XQuery, and it was really cool. So maybe there's something like that. But yeah, that's interesting. So where the question is, so till now this was easy. Let's go. Actually, maybe I went too fast. Let's go back. Oh shoot, yeah. My college version would have been faster with this. Let's just go back to our number 11486. 11486. And 11486, this guy is in column group 1, which is an attended type 1 collection. Yeah, man, this is challenging. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to tackle this on this call. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It depends on the structure. So I think XQuery was the language, and that was pretty cool. You probably still would have to spend some time to just understand how it's structured, but you could do things like, for example, you could say, show me. Let's go back to this guy. So you could say, man, yeah, it just has these random names. But you could say, do things like, show me source report name 1 wherever it occurs, and it just returned you all across the XML file. Cool. So we'll save one for the archive. Yeah, if you do, maybe for some fun adventures with XML. We'll park it for now. All right, terrific. So great. So that was a good example, Steve. Thanks so much. I think we explored a little bit here, just kind of contrasted the Excel versus XML. XML is certainly doable, but just it's just gonna take a little bit more time here. So let's switch over to our YouTube callers, and what I'm gonna do is, all right. So YouTube. I'm gonna take the last question here. And folks on the YouTube, we're already in an hour. We'll do an option where you can dial in as well in a little bit. Just hang on for that. And again, the audio isn't working perfect, but I still would love to talk to some of you at the end of the call. So let's do another Q&A. And okay, so we got. I'm just gonna scroll through some of the content. So Pedro is saying, I'm a pro user. I want to share my work only some dashboards with another user. Yep. Well, so let's go back to Pedro sharing. And what I would say is that if you haven't, maybe you have, and if you have, then that's great. But if you go to my channel, the home page, and it's YouTube PowerBIPro, that has the playlist on the tutorial. This is my zero to dashboard tutorial, and in here, the last lesson or second last talks about sharing. So you can you can go through that. Now, of course, my course talks a little bit more about that. Let's see, course, how do I do this? But yeah, you can get it right on YouTube. There's a little bit about how sharing works. But if you just want to share with other users, then it's like sharing is generally like OneDrive or Dropbox. If you used any of those or G Drive, it works kind of like that. And you would just go in there, and you don't have to do app workspace. That's something different. That's for large audiences. Go check out my video that I was talking about earlier. Just search for app workspaces on my channel or something like that, right? So I'll show you my course. So if you come back here, so this is not the way, this is not the typical way to share. The typical way to share is, now how do I get out of this? Is there a cancel button? Let's start. All right, so if you have a dashboard, you just go in there and click share. And again, this is kind of like how OneDrive or G Drive or Dropbox works. And you just type in their email address, right? So you're just gonna say Avi and Avi Singh, and it autofills anyway, right? So, and that's it. That's sharing. And you can click on access and see who has access to it. Apparently John, demo, and so forth, right? So, and what I wanted to show you was, so of course, the tutorial on YouTube gives you an overview, kind of an end-to-end look at Power BI, and then my main course dives into each of those core topics. And the last of them is the PowerBI.com platform. So you can see a Zero to Dashboard. This is the one that's available on YouTube, but then we dive into the query editor, relationships, DAX, visuals, and the PowerBI.com platform. And this one talks a little bit more about kind of sharing and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, share groups and stuff. So so sharing is easy, and let's see. So that, hopefully that helped you. Pedro, no, what is it? Just all right. Pedro, I think, had a follow-up comment. The file has 20 pages. I want to share only 3 with a person. What's the best way? So when you say you file, I assume you're talking about your Power BI report, Power BI PBIX file. I don't think that's possible. If you have 20 pages here, to share only the first 3, unless you do some kind of like a weird row-level security or something, so that the other pages don't show any data. I mean, the pages would still show. The best advice would be to separate it. Now, of course, if you haven't done this yet, this is the best thing that you can do, is to separate your model from your reports. So let me ask you this question. Is your model and your reports in the same file? Well, then you're screwed. No, just kidding. That's an okay place to start. But the next level is definitely to separate your model from the reports. And when you do that, then you have your model. One PBIX file is your model and has no report pages, 0. Well, you can't have 0 pages. It's going to have 1 blank page. It doesn't matter. Who cares, right? So that's going to be your model PBIX file. And the other files are just going to be reports. So one report is going to be for the sales team, one report is going to be for Sally, and one report is going to be for Jonathan, one report is going to be marketing. Doesn't matter. You can have 100, you can have 1,000 reports connected back to your model. That's the way to use Power BI. One source of truth. You disconnect your model from your reports. Any other way? Well, it's okay. I'm not going to be too judgy. But yeah, so and then you can say, oh, there's 3 pages, go to this user. Those 10 pages, go to this user. Okay, so some of you were trying to help me out with the XML, head and column spreadsheets. Ooh, yeah, interesting. What it looks like if you ungroup a mapping table. Okay, so great. So you had a lot of different ideas. So certainly Steve's the moderator, so he monitors the chat for sure. So he's gonna be looking at that stuff. So folks, if you had a question earlier, just humor me, paste it again, because sometimes people post a question, then they're not there. So it's yeah, and of course I thank you guys for kind of being patient. it's well, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy these calls, and frankly, if you come here, hopefully not, I don't think so, that oh, I answer my question. It's you learn so much from other people's questions. I mean, I'm learning all the time from the stuff that you guys ask me, right? To teach is to learn twice, kind of stuff. So so hopefully, as others are asking questions, and of course I saw that with Steve's question, a lot of you were participating, and I couldn't keep my eye on it, but you had a lot of different ideas which are worth trying. So yeah, that's great. Yeah, Heather agrees with me. So we do learn from the questions. Perfect. So yeah, Steve. Ilker, hello, my friend. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to your Talk Power BI. If you have any question, anything kind of generic about Power BI, I don't know, licensing gateway, anything about kind of like building a career, certification, getting a job, that sort of stuff, or a very specific question, go ahead and ask. Lindsay has a question. Trying to merge name columns from two different tables. First, interesting. First, middle, last, to last. Okay, that is interesting. Let's see. So it's a Q&A, and this is Lindsay. Did I say your name right the first time? Maybe not. Trying to merge name columns. Oh, by the way, did we have all right, so Ross has a quick question. Do you have a video on offsets in Calendar? I do. It's both inside my course as well as on YouTube. So again, I mean, YouTube has some of my content, but the good stuff is inside my course. So the offsets, if you go to my channel, calendar table, it's one of the more popular videos, but and playlists. So this whole playlist, playlist is, by the way, a good way to start. That's the way we have tried to structure it. We have the tutorial, Talk Power BI, and then we have the ultimate calendar. And in here, offsets are talked about a few different times. Offsets, and then offsets, and then offsets. Can you tell that I love offsets? And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's a pretty cool trick in Calendar. It lets you do, amongst many other things like always show me the current year, always show me the current year and the last year, always show me the last 3 months, the last 3 weeks. Doesn't matter. You can do it all. So set up a report to always show you a certain window and just set it and forget it. It's going to update automatically. You don't have to go back and change. Like, oh, now we're in 2019. I got to go update all my reports to show filter to 2019. That's silly stuff, my friend. I'm too lazy for that. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And inside our a pro level, so in our course, there's the main course, which is the 80-20. There's a 20% that gives you the 80% of the results. And then we have been building this pro level, the pro library. And if you are in the pro level, well, thank you for being a member there. But here we have even more videos on the calendar, and more will be added as well. So calendar tables has some additional videos as well, which are not available anywhere else. So that's in the pro level. So cool. I got kind of sidetracked. Let's come back here to our question. We're trying to help Lindsay. Trying to merge name columns. Okay, and Lindsay. Oh, great! You guys are making friends. It seems that's great. All right, so trying to merge name columns from two different tables: first, middle, last. To last, first, middle. Ooh, some don't have a middle name. For clarification, table 1 has one column with first, middle, last, and table 2 has one column with last, first, middle. Let's make a name. So names. So we have Avi Singh, Lindsay, Betty, and we're gonna make one more. I can't think of anything. Tallulah. I think it's like Jan Singh. That's her. Oh gosh, that's messed up. I don't know. My dad's name. How about that? I'll spell it out. Okay, so some have a middle name, some not. So let's see how it's going to show up in table 1. By the way, what I'm doing here, my friend, and I don't guarantee a solution, but I guarantee the approach. It's the best approach, it's the only approach I know. And the approach is human learning, if I can spell that, before machine learning. And machine in this case is Power BI. So before I can teach Power BI anything, I gotta understand as a human, right? So this is me doing the human learning part. and humans are slow, frankly, so it takes me a lot of times, and sometimes I'm consulting and it's kind of awkward where, I break down something like small steps just so I can understand it. But I think it works. I mean, you can take really complex problems and kind of break it down and solve it. So table 1 has one column with first, middle, last. So first, middle, last. So it's gonna say first, middle, last. So actually just like this. So table 1 is gonna look like this. I'm gonna put this up top. Oops. And what does table 2 look like? So, table 2 has one column with last, comma, first, middle. So Singh, comma, Avi, Betty, comma, Lindsay, and last, first, middle. Oh, my friend. Okay, this is fun. Hey, this is awesome. I'm loving it. Yeah, I think Lindsay came up with better examples than mine. James T. Kurt, yes. Wait. I'm Richard Roundtree. I don't think I understand all the references, but I got James T. Kurt. Star Trek. Okay, so let's go over here. And by the way, if you're part of the Talk Power BI Insiders Club, you can access our notes. You can access all of our files. And this is a great way to search for stuff. And we do the same thing, by the way, for our class. We have a similar file for all the meetings we have with our students, where we keep the notes of all the questions asked and so forth. So if you wanted to, in the class notes, just search for Salesforce and see, if a question was asked, how was it answered. You can go back to the recording. And sometimes what's even better is who asked that question. So I mean, in YouTube, it's hard to kind of get in touch with Lindsay, but you'll have to catch him in the next Talk Power BI, I guess, or ask him to PM me or something. But in our student group, you can just say, oh, this person asked it, and go find them in the student community and just talk with them. Just, I heard you ask a Salesforce question. So again, I mean, I believe that that's a crucial part of the program. Frankly, that is pretty much the program. I mean, I really think that's more important than the content. I mean, the content is great. You need it for sure. You need somebody to kind of give you the concepts so that you don't have to go around and fit together that jigsaw puzzle through Google and YouTube. YouTube is great, but it's hard to learn the concepts that way. Anyway, so this is a great question. Love it, love it, love it. Let's go somewhere so we can close off this Steve file, and we're gonna open a new one. And we'll just, all right, so it's opening up, my friend, and I think this one should be pretty straightforward. Yeah, so fuzzy match is an interesting feature. It'll be interesting to see if fuzzy match can help you, but I don't think that's needed. I mean, this one is so well defined that I don't think we need fuzzy matching. We can, and again, if we use exact matching instead of fuzzy matching, it's I feel more confident. I mean, fuzzy matching, I was like, what is the confidence percentage and so forth. All right, so let's go in here and build our table. So that's our table 1. Edit queries. I should have probably saved that file. Enter data. And we have undo headers and first, wait, did I have that right? First, middle, last. I'm just gonna first, middle, last, table 1. And we'll do the other one. And I'm a little concerned about like these funny line characters. That looks good. So let's go back here and do table 2. Undo headers, and this one is last comma first middle. Last comma first middle, table 2. And let's do, I'm gonna merge this with the other one as a new file. So what I did, it's table 1. That's great. Oh, I'm not ready for merge yet. So what I'm going to do is convert this into the first file format. So for that, let's do duplicate this column. So let's go over here. All right, and now we can split this column. Split column by delimiter. Oops. So comma, and instead of each occurrence, I'm going to assume that there are no other commas. So I'm just going to do leftmost. Like their first name can't have a comma. So now, something, did I not copy things right? Avi Singh Avi. Where did that come from? Oh, I did. Sorry, my bad. Singh Avi. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now we split that up, and now we can just combine it, right? So Avi Singh, Lindsay Petty, Vijay Kumar Singh. So now we're going to add a custom column, and well, actually, well, yeah. So let's say first, middle, last, and we're going to say give me this one, ampersand with a space maybe, and oh no, actually, give me this one followed by this one. Let's just see how it looks. So Avi Singh, Lindsay Petty, first, middle, last. And this is my favorite part, by the way, of Query Editor, is that once you're done with something, you can just throw it away. So all of this stuff, and you can't do that in Excel. In Excel, if you have you build columns which reference other columns, you can't just go delete them after you're done, right? But you can in the Query Editor. So in the Query Editor, I can just come in and say, thank you, I don't need you anymore. And of course, I have them kind of in the steps so I can come back and debug something, but I don't have to load all that garbage in there. So in Excel, either you carry around those columns, you keep these columns, or what do? You write a really, really complex formula so that you don't have to create these columns. So you do everything in this one step, in this one big formula. It's like, oh, split this and then combine this and first and mid, and it becomes this nightmare formula. Either you do that, or if you do really step by small steps so that you can easily understand it, you end up with like 1,500 columns. And it's, it's a choice between the devil and the deep sea. So again, not throwing Excel under the bus, but you can see that this tool is, its life's purpose is to consume your data, right? You can see this right here. So yeah, Query Editor, that's the right place, and not DAX. Please don't do this in DAX. Don't do this in a DAX calculated column. Gosh. So first, middle, last. So what do you think? Let's see if Lindsay Petty, yeah. Lindsay, do you think we're on the right track here? So let's now come back and merge this to a new query. So, right, obviously, I'm just making it up. I'm not sure what your real scenario is going to be, but I want to see them as a separate one. So I'm going to say table 1, table 2, and now I'll just say first, middle, last, first, middle, last. And yeah, so no fuzzy matching. This is exact matching. So now this is based on a set of assumptions it's assuming that names themselves, like the first name, cannot have a comma. Otherwise, well, yeah, you would. I mean, I didn't. I just that's the assumption that I have. What else is it assuming? It's assuming that first, middle, and last name is separated by a space. That first name cannot have a space inside that. I think, is it assuming that? I'm not really sure. I think there is some assumption about space, or maybe not. Let me step through. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's funny. Modeling is in a way about assumptions and decision making. You assume some things and you make a decisions based on that. But anyway, so for our test data set, I feel pretty confident that this is going to work, and we should have oh, what did I do wrong? Avi Singh. Wait, didn't it say that it matched? First, middle, last. What is going on? Let's just test. So I'm going to click on this cell. Avi Singh. Come on, buddy. You're killing me. And here, Avi Singh. Oh, do you see this? You see this? It's not the same. Not the same. So I messed up somewhere. Let's go back to the steps. Oh, there was a space at the beginning. Now, I'm sure there are a few different ways to correct that. I'm just going to go to this column, transform, and say trim. Trim, right? Yes, trim. And now, if I go back to my merge, ta-da! All right, and you also saw me debug. If I went by too fast, I'm going to go back and show you how I debugged something. So it didn't match. Like, it gave me null, which was unexpected. So I went back to the first table, and I clicked on the cell, and usually I don't click on the value. I don't know, it's just something that. And I clicked on the cell, and what that does is it puts whatever is in there at the bottom. And I'm not really sure. Can you click on there and Control C? I don't know if that works. Let's see if that works. Maybe you can. Okay, so oh well. Somehow I'm used to clicking here and then going to the bottom and copying it. Maybe you don't need to do that. Let's try over here. So you go over there, and I can copied it, and I pasted it in my favorite text application, Notepad++. You can do other things in here like show white space and that sort of stuff. So and I could notice difference. Sometimes data can be really tricky. Sometimes I think that you can have like what I call non-printing characters. It's not fun, but you can pretty much deal with anything. All right, so we solved it. We fixed it by just adding a trim and format trim, and so you see we were able to match Avi Singh with Avi Singh, Lindsay Petty with Petty Lindsay, and so forth. So Lindsay, my friend, what do you think? All right, cool. So let's see. Lindsay saying lost visual. Ooh, I'm not sure. I'm watching it on here. Looks good for me. Split move columns merge. Vishesh had the exact same idea. Oh, my friend Miguel Escobar is in here in the room, my friends. So, gosh, Miguel Escobar is the infamous author of what? M is for Data Monkey. He has a YouTube channel as well. M is for Data Monkey. Check that out. Where is Miguel Escobar YouTube? And he's in the fine country of Panama. So there we go, Miguel Escobar. And man, they have some good stuff. Ken Pulse, another Power BI MVP, Power BI legend, and they partner up and do training as well. So good to see you, my friend. Cool. Oh well, that's not the right Miguel Escobar. Okay, go find him. Go find him on his website. Perfect. Okay, so I'm honored, my friend. Let's see. column from example also would have been easiest artificial intelligence approach. Yeah, but you can't teach that to. So yeah, so Bridgender has a good one, and I want to go play with that. So now, if you go back to this challenge, where could we have used column from examples? I think we could have used. Oh yeah, we could have used right here. So let's kind of duplicate this, or actually copy this. Duplicate is copy. So table 2, and I'm gonna and let's see how well it works. So instead of doing split and do this and duplicate, I can just go in here and say add column from examples, and let's see. Oh, add column. Oh gosh, why does it do that? It puts it off to the side. Let's see if I can make it like so. Okay. Ooh, and here I will say Avi Singh, and I'll say Lindsay Betty. It's not picking up yet. I didn't type Vijay Kumar Singh. So it did pick up, and of course you can see the exact. So the disadvantage of this is it does. We were talking about the devil in the deep sea in the Excel world, where either you did it step by step and you ended up with 20 different columns which you didn't really need, or you wrote one big complex formula. So here it works, but notice that the formula. So again, I mean, pros and cons. I'm not going to decide it for you. You can decide for yourself what works best for you. But in here, like if this one is I think simple enough. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. We don't have like the sample data set is really small, but I'm not sure what the 7 means. Miguel, my friend, do you know what that means? Text stop middle. Why it doesn't seem. Oh yeah, see, it didn't get it right. It thinks that it's going off of the 7th character because all of my last names are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters, so 6, 7. So it got it right, but not really. And again, if we had more data, like let's give it some more data or different data. So let's try it again. So give me James T. Kurt James T. and maybe Escobar Miguel, and let's try this. So. And can I? Oh, gosh, yeah. And let's do one more. And John. So even if it had worked, you would still have the trade-off that I talked about. That this one might create a formula, which I mean, frankly, I looked at it and I had to kind of squint my eyes and kind of figure text to combine text middle. Yeah. Worse is the step-by-step approach of, well, I can go like slowly step. Oh, okay, I got it. So it's kind of easier. And again, it's trade-off. I'm not saying one is better than the other. It depends on what you're dealing with. Now, of course, when I was doing like advanced stuff, real projects, one of my favorite moves was to try to compress my queries, because man, I would end up with like 100 steps. So it's just anything that I could do to kind of compress multiple steps into one, I liked it. But again, I was at a kind of a different level working client projects. If you're starting out, I would say step-by-step approach is great. But in here, let's try so you can notice that the logic that it came up with, the artificial intelligence add custom column, didn't really work. Because again, it didn't have enough. What I fed it took a best shot at its a solution, but it wasn't right. So yeah, be careful. And again, sometimes it might work for you. You still need to examine the formula that it generates for you, because even if you don't have an example in the current data set, imagine these names were like a list of 100 names, and these looked right, but tomorrow you got 10 more names and the logic was slightly off and it didn't work. So yeah, just examine the formula. But let's try this again, my friends, shall we? I don't know how far I would have to do. So can I go back down here and type something in? So here I will say Miguel Escobar. Escobar. Got that. And if I say John Doe, and then here, cool. So now I think it got it right. And again, you should always kind of examine the formula. So now if you look at the formula, so again, my red flag in my head was that seeing that 7 and looked hard-coded. So now if you look, and again, I mean, you see the trade-off right there. I mean, this one is kind of hard to notice here, and we know that the M IntelliSense is coming to the formula bar as well, but right now it doesn't look. Wow, it doesn't look. Yeah, it's kind of hard to read. So for your measures, we have DAX formatter. Any Power BI developer, I would say, worth their salt, knows or needs this tool. So DAX formatter takes a DAX formula and makes it really pretty. I wish they had examples right here. We could use something similar for M, until of course the I don't know. Yeah. So it looks right. I can see that it's splitting by comma and so forth. Yeah. So I would. And it looks right here too. So cool. So you saw. So we'll say table 2, using column by example. So hey, Lindsay, I wanted to thank you. So I love the questions, which seem kind of this is so straightforward, but then you dive in and there's more to it than you realize. So here we got to talk about. Obviously, we solved this for you. I hope. But when we got to talk about the different approaches, adding custom column, and the pros and cons of that. So hopefully that helped. Okay. So yeah, Miguel is talking about that. So Miguel, by the way, if you're watching the chat, he's the power user. Oh, I think that's your channel as well. Oh, of course that's your channel. I mean, that's your sign into that. YouTube, the power user with the bulb. Is this it? I think so. It says Power Query. Awesome, my friend. So hey, Miguel, would I be seeing you at the MVP Summit? I know it's a little bit of a trek for you, but yeah, that would be pretty cool. Oh, I remember. Yeah, last time you were trying to do training and such, and it hadn't worked out. Anyway, what? That's so wrong. You're an MVP in my books, my friend. You're very important to me. All right, terrific. Okay, cool. So let's who do we have on the phone? Wow, we still have students. Heather, Lori. By the way, big thank you for all the questions you'd been asking. So we do have the questions that Marianne on my team collected. If any of them were unanswered still, I would love to kind of dive in those with you. But really big kudos on kind of just diving in, making progress here, going through the course, applying it. I can't wish for a more model student, you know. So that's great. And of course Steve is here and Tom is here as well, and Yeti is still on. And let's see, we saw some questions. Sasha had some questions as well on YouTube. Daniel, Avjit, and Ala Praxo had some questions. Cosmos Surfer. If any of you are online right now, just go ahead and say, "Oh yeah, Avi, I would love to follow up with you on that question," and we'll change that. We demand Miguel and Avi's sessions. Absolutely. Why don't I think of that? Thank you, Sam. So we gotta have Miguel share some of his magic. M is for data magic, right? So, oh gosh, definitely. I volunteer, Miguel. You can't say no now, my friend. So we'll have him on the channel, and I don't know, maybe we'll ask you guys that what do you want to hear from Miguel, because he is like this. Yeah, I mean, you know, this mine of information. All right, so Laurie's saying I got lots of advice from the family. Yeah, that's right. So, by the way, friends, this was kind of weird. I always had this. I don't have this visual handy. I really should. But when I created the program, before I created the program, I was sitting in a cafeteria and I drew this kind of visual, the stick figure visual. I'm not good at drawing, but you don't need to be. And I drew. I'll draw a quick version of that. I drew these people, and I drew a lot of connections. But so the center one was me, but not just that. I drew other lines, and like, yep, they're connected to each other as well. And then I realized that what I had drawn was my, like, that I wanted to be the core of my program, and that's what Laurie's talking about. And as I started implementing it, I think I casually just said, "Oh, learn Power BI family," and it stuck. And the thing is that words have power, my friend. Words have a lot of power. So watch out. The words that you use, especially about yourself, huh? A lot of times we're not nice about ourselves. Oh, I'm not that smart. Oh, I'm not this. I'm not good at that. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So be careful. and so words are powerful. The words that we use, the words that we speak, the words that we think. So by calling something a family, you change things. You act differently. So of course that's been a key part of me. So Laurie, I'm glad to have you as part of the family. I'm glad that you've gotten kind of help there, and yeah, I'm kind of an equal member, maybe first among equals or something like that. So I'm just I'm there to help my students, but it's glad to have that community around. Octavio, good to have you back, my friend. I think I've missed you. Hi from I'll try to say that. No, I'm not. He's from Texas. Hello, Octavio. How are you, my friend? Awesome. So Miguel, I'm going to reach out to you, send you an email. We're going to have Miguel. Javier is from Spain. Cool. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna message my team right now. It's one of those things. If I don't do it now, I'm gonna forget. Hey, let's invite Miguel Magical Escobar to talk Power BI. Okay. Yeah, I trust my team to kind of keep me honest on that. What else, my friends? Anything on the phone? Or you know, let's try this. Let's so I know our phone lines are kind of weird, but we're gonna go to. So if you are in the Talk Power BI Insiders Club, if not, just go to talkpowerbi.com and sign up. So of course our students get to call in, but I want to talk to the rest of you as well, my followers as well. And I get it. You know, sometimes it's like not everybody's going to sign up for my course, but I want to get in touch with you. So let's try this. So if you are part of the Talk Power BI Insiders Club, then I just opened the phone lines. So go ahead, go to your Talk Power BI Insiders Club page, which should be in all the reminder emails you get and the initial email you got. And let's see if we can have a caller over there. So, oh wait, no, this didn't work. Hold on, the lines aren't open yet. What did it do? Getting close, my friends. Otherwise, if you have any questions on the phone, you can just talk to me, and or type chat or YouTube. Just let me know. All right, I think the magic is happening now. So yeah, if you are watching me on YouTube and if you would like to talk to me, just chat, just ask a specific question. You would even be able to share your screen and stuff if you really want, and we'll see how that works. All right, so let's go to the chat, and Frank is here from Holland. Good to have you here. I am based in Seattle, in the Microsoft's backyard. Microsoft's headquartered here is in Redmond, and I actually live in Issaquah, so that's the name of the town I live. It's about 30 minutes away from Seattle, 30 minutes from Redmond, and I don't know why, but I feel compelled to share my quick story. I came here kicking and screaming. I was moved here by my company. I was working at Washington Mutual, WAMU Bank, the bank that's no more at that time, and they had a reorg. They moved me here, and I'm like, oh, yeah, Seattle, I don't want to go there. But that time, my green card was being processed. That was a long time ago. I've been a citizen now for many years. And yeah, so I didn't want to move to Seattle, but man, this place grows on you. It's now we have our family here. Both of my kids were born here. My son is turning 15 this March. My daughter just turned 10. And we couldn't be happier. We feel so blessed. I think this is a terrific place to raise a family. And of course, when I'm traveling and I say Seattle, people say, oh, doesn't it rain all the time? And I say, yes, it absolutely does. And we Seattleites always laugh at that because that's a response because we want to keep people away. It doesn't always work. People are moving in here primarily because of the jobs. Microsoft is obviously strong. Amazon is here. The old time Boeing and stuff is also here. And a lot of cool stuff. Great University of Washington. I went there to get my master's. And that engenders a lot of culture of startups. You don't kind of hear about it because Silicon Valley kind of hogs the limelight, but it's pretty cool. Kirill, hey, good to have you, my friend. So Kirill, by the way, folks, is based in Oregon, and I think he's an independent consultant now. We crossed paths first when he was working at the Bonneville water something, right? So, but yeah, now he's an independent consultant. And Kirill, by the way, was going to be featured as a special guest, and he couldn't. I think you were catching a flight, but Kirill, man, all the cool guys are joining today. Miguel Escobar, Kirill Perian, maybe Bonneville Power, great. So Kirill, yeah, yeah, man, we would love to have you back one day. We missed you on that day. I know you couldn't attend, but yeah, just share a part of your journey. So I'm glad. It's a great coincidence. I'll probably reach out to you as well. Octavia has a question. Can you load logos from the companies that you work with when you hit the name on? Okay, awesome. Thanks, Carol. We'll reach out. Okay, I'm gonna add to my message that I sent, and Kirill Perian as well. Not sure for an interview live. Okay, so my team has that. You're gonna keep me honest. So Octavio, tell me a little bit more. Can you load the logos? Of course you can. Let me see. Let me pull one example from our course. So this, let me see if I can find the file. Course, where do I go for downloads? Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can show you in the video. So this is the course. Nope, not here. This one. Nope, not this one. This one. And or the key here is you point to an image using a URL. Now, of course, if you have the image lying on your hard disk, you would have to upload it somewhere to get the URL. But there are plenty of places you can do that. And then you change that to say that this is an image URL. So you go to that column and you go to modeling, and then you say that this is an image URL, and then it just shows you that image. So if you were to see that video, I think that's in visuals, and we have waterfall, scatter, by, table, matrix is somewhere here. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'll find it. But try that image URL thing, and let me know if that's kind of what you were asking about, or if it was something else. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go look at my own table of contents. All right, so folks, yeah, the phone line is open, but I haven't had any callers yet. So, but anyway, so just be aware. Just want to let you know that yeah, if you join the Talk Power BI Insiders Club at talkpowerbi.com, you have this option to call in, and we usually open it up near the end of the call. Cool. So what I was gonna do was find that image thing. So for that, I'm gonna say course content. And here's an image. Oh, there we go. Multi-row cards, 5.u. So let's go over there. So at least I can show you kind of what it looks like. Oh, perfect. Oh, this is great. So this is what it looks like. So in this case, I'm using that image URL to show, well, a region image. Not the best use case for that, but that's what it's going to look like. So again, all you have to do is specify that URL. You have to have the URL in your data, and then you set it to data category image URL. If you don't set this, then it just shows you the URL. Obviously that doesn't look very interesting. It's just a http://. But if you set the data category to image URL, then it shows you the image over here. All right, my friends, the questions seem to be drying up. So we'll do kind of one last call. And I know there's a lag, so I'm asking this question now. It might take a few minutes for you to type in your last question. Okay, cool. Well, maybe there isn't that much lag because everything came in. So Sean is saying, is there a way to build a model in PBI and have users connected using Excel? Yes, I know. Okay, he already knows about the Analyze in Excel in the PBI service, but I was wondering if there's a way to do it without the service. There is. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's very possible. So let's go there. So we got another, and folks, let's end the call here. I'm usually, I don't mind staying on for longer, but I'm a little bit jet lagged, so a little bit out of it right now. So yeah, so just drink some water. Q&A, and this question is by Sean, and we have connect to PBI model without the service. And by service, he means PowerBI.com, Analyze in Excel. So when we talked about separating your model from your reports, I'm a huge fan of that. And when you're creating reports, you can also have, so you can have one model and you can have multiple Power BI reports connected to that, separate Power BI reports, right? So those are independent, those are separate files, PBIX, they show up separately. So one has 3 pages, it's shared by one team. So you can have a lot of that, but you can also connect other reporting tools to that single model. And of course, the one of my favorite ones is Excel. In fact, almost all of the solutions that I've built for my clients, they have involved a combination of reports, some Power BI reports, some Excel reports, but the key driver was a single source of truth. So we all of them were connecting back to the same model. So in here in the Power BI, you can of course just go to your model, which shows up as data sets, same thing, and you can say, oh, I want to analyze this in Excel. And what that's going to give you is an ability to create an Excel report connected back to that single source of truth. But that's what Sean is asking about. It's like, hey, I know that option, but is there a way to do it without the service? Let's try. So we have, well, Steve Ross. I'm just going to close it for now. Let's see if we can open something interesting, shall we? And let's... hold on, just give me a brief moment. I want to save these files so that they're accessible later for your reference. And again, folks, you can just go to talkpowerbi.com And if you sign up there, you can get access to the notes and the files and everything else. So yeah, so that's how you get access to that. Okay, fine. You know what? I'll just open a new one. So let's go to Learn Power BI. So let's say we have this model. So you can connect Excel to a model without the service. Now, one requirement for that is it needs to be running. So you need to have it open, right? So to be able to do this, requirement PBIX file needs to be open on that computer. So it cannot, it cannot be open on a different computer. You just have to kind of open it. So again, which is usually kind of a bummer. So I do use this. I do connect Excel files to Power BI directly, but I'll tell you my scenario. I mean, for my clients, when they want to do it, I definitely say PowerBI.com, analyze in Excel. But I use it for a different scenario, and I'll talk about that. So let me just show you. So you need to have this file open. And so now I have this file open. It's got this model and all this stuff, and you know, it's got its own reports and that sort of stuff. But now I want to go to Excel, and I want to connect to that. So what I want to do, so essentially, Power BI, Power BI Desktop, Power Pivot, Power BI Service, SSAS Analysis Server, Azure Analysis Server, they're essentially the same engine. They're the exact same engine, and that's why you can. So essentially, Power BI Desktop is essentially running an SSAS Analysis Server, and that's our door in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Data, and we're going to pretend that we're connecting to an SSAS server. So we're going to say Get Data, and from Database, and we're going to say from Analysis Services. So we're going to say, hey, go connect to the server. Now, how do we find the name of that server? Well, it's on the local machine, so we know that it's a local host that refers to your own machine. And then we're gonna figure out the port. And I'm gonna show that to you later on how to figure that out. If I want, but I'm just gonna show you how it works. So I figured out the port, and say go. So I'm just saying, hey, you know, Excel doesn't know any better. As far as Excel knows, this is an SSAS server. So I say, hey, Excel, do you mind connecting to the SSAS server, which my team has set up, but it's really a Power BI file. So there you go. You click finish, and that's it. So now you got access to all of your kind of measures and everything else. And let's try something like budget by month or something like that. And you know, I don't know, do we graph it? Where is it? Line chart. Yep, you know, so yeah, and you can go to town. Now, of course, this is, once you've done these steps, this effect is the same or similar to Analyze in Excel. This is what Analyze Excel would give you, this capability. It would give you this pivot table connected back to the model. And now, of course, the difference is that we're doing this without the service, right? So, but yeah, the requirement being that PBIX file needs to be open. And caveat, warning, port and connection information change each time you reopen the file. So you probably saw me open DAX Studio. It's a very amazing tool, and this is what I used to figure out the port that the machine was running on. So if we go DAX Studio and I say click connect, and if you needed proof that really Power Pivot, Power BI, Tabular, SSAS Tabular are all kind of the same thing. I mean, notice that the same tool, DAX Studio, can connect to all of them. So I connected to my model, hit connect, and then this is where I got my port, localhost 52951. So just going back and showing that to you. Now the port changes and the connection information changes every single time as well. Now there is a way to make that a little bit easier. Now, first of all, I'll tell you, when do I use this? I use it for debugging. So I'm building a model, and you know, it's, you keep adding more layers, and inevitably I'll hit something which is not working, a measure that's not working. Usually, I should just say it, debugging measures, right? So I write something which is not working, and imagine you're under time pressure. You know, you've been working for many hours, and it's a complicated measure now. Now you're not trying to do sum of sales or something. You're trying to write something complicated, and it's not working. Again, time pressure. You have to finish something soon, and you've been working for a few hours, so your brain is a little bit fried. And what was the third one? Sorry, guys, I'm a little jet lagged. Whatever the third one was, right? So those elements are there, and then you need to debug it. And then if all of those things happen, I feel claustrophobic in the Power BI environment. I just feel handicapped. I feel like my one hand is tied behind my back because I had lived the Excel life for so long, and pivot tables is phenomenal. There's a on the Power BI idea side, there's a request to create pivot tables in Power BI. Stupidest idea ever, because you know, pivot tables are already there. You can just connect an Excel to Power BI. You know why? And I don't think Power BI can ever recreate it. I mean, oh boy. And frankly, I mean, I worked with finance people, and I've seen them work with Excel pivot tables. They fly through it. They fly through it. Why? And you leave them in Power BI and ask them to do something that they, you know, can do it in seconds in a pivot table, and they're like, oh, you know. And I'm the same way when it comes to all of those three things. Like I'm trying to debug a measure, a complex measure, which is not working under time pressure, and so forth. So I just switched to a pivot table, and it's so easy. I mean, I don't know. I just feel at home here. So again, right. I mean, you can kind of filter, drill down, add filters, debug, kind of really narrow down, and find out what's wrong, what's not working. Write formulas on the side, and that's it. So that's my main use for connecting without a Power BI service, because I don't have the patience to publish it, and then every time I make a change, I have to publish it again, and blah. You know, I just do it the way I showed you. Now, Marty, good to have you, my friend. Hey, yeah, late but not lost. That's okay. That's still cool. I'm gonna drop some really cool stuff right now. So we're talking about Sean's. I like the question. We're gonna end on this question, by the way. So, but we're gonna make it a good one. So, with how to connect Excel to Power BI desktop. That's essentially it. So, not PowerBI.com, analyze in Excel. So we showed that, and I talked about when do I use it. Now, this challenge, and that's where, I mean, I'm glad that we have a Learn Power BI student community, but one of my biggest videos is Power BI versus Tableau, and Power BI versus Tableau. Let's try that. So Power BI versus Tableau, and one of the comments there was, "Ooh, I like Tableau because of the community," and I said, "Dude, you have no idea, you know." Just come over to the, you know, leave the dark side. No, just kidding. Tableau is cool, by the way. Tableau and Power BI, by the way, there's no competition. It's apples and oranges. You know, they don't compete with each other. It's just silly. It's a silly notion that they compete with each other. And, you know, so, yeah, Power BI is really about the model. You can use any reporting tool you want. Anyway, I digress. So they said that Tableau is a great community. Man, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine how it can beat what Power BI has with the user groups and the MVPs and everything that they do. So my friend, this challenge was felt not just by us, you and me, but by many. And one amazing Samaritan who has been featured on my channel, and I'm so proud of that, Matt Allington, has solved that. Oh my gosh, he is phenomenal. So I mean, I love the community. I love that people can kind of solve this thing for you. Now, what I would say is that if some of the calls to talk Power BI, somebody emailed me and said, Avi, I don't join these calls because I like to have structured learning. Now, these calls are not about structured learning. Structured learning is inside my program. And again, that gives you that 20% that gives you 80% of the results. That's what my course is about. But then once you have that, then it's so fun to explore the rest. Now that takes longer. I'm still on the journey, my friend, right? But it's so much fun to kind of just walk on that journey. And so as part of that journey, today we are here and we're going to solve this for you with Matt Allington's help. So Matt Allington has been featured on the channel a few times. And let's go find his article. Matt Allington, Excel Power BI Desktop. People ask me, hey, Avi, how do I download Power BI? And I'm like, yeah, Google it. Google Power BI download. So it's funny that, we kind of Google when we want to know how to use Power BI products and YouTube, Microsoft products. Anyway, I didn't find the exact article. Let's just try connect Excel to Power BI. Let's try that. Aha! Jackpot! It's so odd, right? That, I didn't look beyond the first two search results. Yeah, search is a hard game. If you're not at the top, you're nothing. All right, so, bingo. So what he has done is has created this workbook template. So what happens is, I'll show you the effect. So in here, I was happily working here, and I'm so happy I'm in here, and I can add a slicer for year, and then add sales over here as well, and again stuff like this, sales, sales in here. Right, so I'm doing all this stuff, and then what happens is that the file, gets closed and reopened. So now the file gets closed and reopened, and my pivot doesn't work. And you have to get not just the new port, it changes the GUID that's on the connection as well. So let me reopen the file. Well, it's oh gosh, where is my file? Did I open it? Where is it? Oh, sorry, I was too impatient. It did open. So now I have the file open again, but it's not gonna work. My thing is gonna be broken now. So if I go here and try to order count, my theory is it's not gonna work. Yeah, it didn't work. So okay. So yeah, I said, hey, the server's not there. I can't find it because it changes port and the GUID every time. So the solution was that you went to data properties and you fixed the port in here somewhere here, but also this GUID. So yeah, not fun. So what Matt has done is he has automated that with a macro. So you just hit a button and it does it for you. Crazy insanity. But man, I love this group. But again, folks, focus on that 20%. Once you have the concepts right, then all of this 80%, rest of the stuff, you got your whole lifetime. I know I'm going to be learning Power BI the rest of my life. And that's fun. That's part of the journey. So let me share that with you guys, and we're gonna call it a day after this. But this was good stuff. What was it doing? Over here, and so that one is Matt article. Yeah, Matt's got books too. Yeah, cool stuff. Analyze performance using DAX Studio. Yeah, have I covered that inside my course? I probably have. Let's see. I've done debugging. Let's see what I have inside my course. Frank was asking, I think, a topic suggestion that, hey, can we cover analyze performance in DAX Studio? Frankly, I typically don't cover kind of like advanced stuff on YouTube because the audience generally is not on that end. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe we'll try it once. So I have, oh, I do have debugging DAX and using DAX Studio to measure the performance. So I have that inside my course. Maybe we'll do a quick mini version of that or something in there. So thanks for that suggestion. And Prudvi is, oh gosh, developing custom visuals. I don't think I can help you with that. Yeah, I wish I knew, but maybe we can have other experts for that. So I'll reach out to the community. And frankly, I haven't come across anybody who actually, you know what? I take that back. I do know. So custom visuals, by the way, the most questions I've had about custom visuals was after our talk Power BI on by Vivek Patel. Vivek Patel, and that guy is amazing. And he talks about developing a dashboard and deploying Power BI for like a worldwide company. I don't know, like a 50,000 people or something. I mean, really, really big dollar amounts and so forth. So in there, in there, he used some. Oh boy, it opened right on the right page. He used two visuals in there, Zebra BI, and shoot, did we add that in the reference? Add that in the details? We didn't. We should have. Because I forgot. Zebra BI and another amazing visual. And I'm really hesitant about using custom visuals. I'm a plain Jane kind of guy. Stephen Few. I believe in column charts, line charts, tables, and matrix. And you know, is there anything else? Yeah, simple stuff. So I'm really hesitant in custom visuals. But clearly, Vivek selected. These are hand selected by Vivek, and these are powerful for the scenario that he was showing. So these are you know, pretty good visuals, but he was using it for finance data, and yeah, I mean, you know, the stuff. I mean, you can see some of it here. It's like it's crazy, you know. Let me see if I can change the settings quality. There we go. I don't know. So so I do know the Zebra BI person. They are a fellow MVP as well, I think. So maybe we'll reach out for that and have a session on that where they can showcase their visual and maybe talk a little bit about how do you develop a custom visual as well. So yeah, that's great. All right, best resource for learning M language. Well, that's great. Depends on your level. Now, of course, I cover M language inside my course, but I mean, it's not exhaustive. It doesn't cover everything. So in here, let's just see query editor. What do I focus on? So in my course, yeah, I want to, again, the whole idea with the course is give you that 20% that gives you the 80% of the results, right? So I don't want to write an encyclopedia, a reference manual of everything. I just want to focus on the core stuff. So here, it just focuses on the connecting data, filter, fill down, replace, split, add column, group by, sort, some best practice naming, I guess, merge, append, unflattening, and then it talks a little bit about how the language itself, and then it has an example. Now, so this is in the main course, and for those who are familiar, who are part of the program, they know that we have the main course, and again, that's the 80-20 rule. And then there's a pro level, which we are building as we go. And this has more resources and projects, real projects, and so forth. And there's no better learning than real projects. So in here, there are more resources and as well. I mean, Ultimate Calendar Table is built using the query editor, and that I show you here. Like, how do you build it? Building the Ultimate Calendar Table in the query editor. So that's kind of a great example. Data modeling, of course, data modeling, the main place you do that is in the query editor. You shouldn't be using that in DAX. So this one kind of covers that in examples, obviously talks about the concepts as well, and then custom functions, query editor, and things like that. So, and again, we'll build this out. We'll keep adding more topics to it in the pro level. So that's my stuff. If you are, of course, we had Miguel Escobar earlier hanging out. Maybe he still is. So they have a great book. M is for Data Monkey. So if you want to go kind of deeper, then I mean, I would recommend my students these books as well. M is for Data Monkey, and then Chris Webb has another book on M as well, which I forget the name. Do I have a copy? Not over here. Yeah, so that's would be my best guidance for you. M by M Escobar. Yeah, M is for Data Monkey. Awesome. All right, my friends. I'll call it a day. Maybe one more recap of the announcements earlier. Six-figure Power BI professional. It's coming soon. So the program is going to be a 3-month beta program. We're going to be taking applications sometime in January, and make sure that we're the right fit. We want to have the right people in that group. Beta group is it's perhaps more important than anything else. So Ryan and I talked about it's for people who. So this is not. I'm not going to teach any Power BI in there. This is for the next level. Like, how do you use Power BI? How do you leverage Power BI, your Power BI skills, and combine it with everything else that you need to be that get that super success, get that oversized success? Because my friend, you deserve it, right? And I really think I want the data jockeys, data monkey, whatever you want to call it. I want us to rebel. I want to start a revolution, because this is the life of a data jockey. There are two things. You are overworked and you're underappreciated. Always, always, always. That's been my whole life. And again, there are blips. When they pat you on the back, they give you that bonus. But if you watch your career graph compared to other folks, I'm like, what the heck? What's wrong, right? And so, so it's just didn't match up with the amount of effort that I was putting, the value that I was adding. So yeah, if you just focus on the tool, now, clearly, you're going to be a lot more productive with Power BI than Excel. And that will give you a bit of a jump. You switch jobs. You go from a new job and it'll give you a jump. But I'm talking about like building the rest of your career. How do you get that mega success, which you deserve? And that requires more than just Power BI. So this program, I want to package all of that in there. All of that, everything that I've learned. Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll even bring in other industry experts in there to talk about the stuff where, yeah. So, but that kind of that X factor. So I'm excited about that. And what else? The last one was, and this is a fun thing. We're doing voting for where did it go? YouTube Power BI Pro. If you go in my community page, and maybe I'll paste the link to the direct post that we have. Here we go. Yes. So if you go here, you can vote for your favorite 2018 feature. And Power BI is one of those odd things. It's the core concepts don't really change. And that's where, if you're starting out, that's where you should be focusing. But beyond that, my Power BI team has delivered and layers upon layers of really exciting features. All right, Sam's saying the revolution has begun. Yes, my friend. Yes, we're going to unshackle ourselves. And yeah, reach for greater heights. All right, my friends. I'll see you next time. Power on.